miteinander, Gregory von Lebensstark here. Welcome to another live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to have you with me. And before we get started, you know what we have to do. I have to make sure that the system is running properly because I am running this as a one-man show right now. And if I'm running stuff as a one-man show, I want to make sure that it is working. So it sounds great. You can hear me and you can see me. Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to do two things. First of all, I'm going to show you 10 of the most powerful kettlebell exercises that you can do with programming and with a couple of workouts included. I always believe in the simple and easy method when it comes to training. In certain situations, you might need some more advanced stuff, but for many people, I think the simple and easy stuff is enough. So that's what we're gonna do. And then, of course, it's Black Friday, y'all. You probably have received thousands of emails with Black Friday. We have sent our Black Friday emails as well, so maybe if you're on the list of our newsletter, you've probably received some great information as well. You find a link now in the description as well as in the chat, and I'm gonna explain to you what you're getting because, ladies and gentlemen, if you watch the whole stream, which should take us about an hour, I'm gonna show you how you can save over $2,000 with kettlebell courses and live coaching. So stay tuned. So matter of fact, what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna switch the camera. And but before, no, I can't switch the camera yet because there's one thing that you have to do before we get started. Watch this.
Stravo, my name is of no importance to me. Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Lebensstark. In the back, you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Lebensstark YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
So if you have subscribed and liked, subscribe to the channel and liked the video, I hope you did because Igor just told you so. So now, let's switch the camera to the gym, to the studio. And I have to make sure that you, ladies and gentlemen, can still hear me and see me. I do these regular checkups always in the beginning, but you always have to make sure that the system is running properly. So give me a second to see if the switch was successful. We have 11 people in chat, so welcome everybody who just tuned in. Yep, it is working. Isn't that beautiful? So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's work through these exercises, 10 total. And Gypsy, of course, is with us again, and he's always doing funny things when I'm streaming. Gypsy, fertig, come here. Come here. Lieke. Hey. All right. Good boy. Lieke. Warte. I'm not telling him to do this. He does this on his own. Every time we're streaming, he goes mad. So 10 exercises, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to do the following right now because I love these live sessions. Imagine you are with me right now in a gym setting. I'm right in your home and I treat this like a personal training session. So imagine I just have you with me, forget everybody else, and I'm going to teach you how to do stuff. And I want you to follow me as good as possible. Whenever you're ready, say yes, yes, nice, let's go. Okay, 10 exercises. The first exercise is the hand-to-hand deadlift. Now, before I show you the exercise, I want to put something before the deadlift because, as you might have known if you're watching this channel, when it comes to kettlebell training, there's one particular exercise that is so important. It is part of the deadlift, part of the swing, part of the clean, part of the snatch that you have to know it. And this exercise is the hinge. So matter of fact, if you're just starting out, we want to learn the hinge. So watch what this looks like. I have a shoulder width stance and you follow me right now. Do as I say. Shoulder width stance, I stand in a slight diagonal stance so you can see me part from the side, part from the front. What happens with your hips? We see this with beginners on a daily basis when they walk into the gym. They don't know how to move their hips. So maybe there is a chance that you don't know how to activate your strongest muscles as well. Watch what the hinge looks like. Observe first. Putting the hips back. knees unlocking. I'm really extending my arms to the side. And then when I come up, I use my hips only. So the whole power comes from my hips, not from my knees. Watch again. Bottom position. Top position. A couple of things first that you have to understand. Your back is straight. I have to be a little bit more exact. Your spine is straight, but you are still moving in that horizontal plane. So I am able to keep the spine straight, not vertical. I keep it straight as I'm moving my upper body down. And if you are doing this right now, I hope you follow me. Keep that bottom position. Make a double chin, so you pull your chin down towards your throat, and I'm pushing the hips back, and I should feel some tension in my hamstrings. If you do this properly, you should feel everything right here in your rear legs. And as you come up, you power through the hips. And when we are on top, I have my knees locked, my hips extended, and I have an upright posture. I do not move from the knees. I move from the hips. Funny thing, even if you do this, you're still moving from the hips, technically speaking. But we want to make sure that the knees are out of the equation and everything happens in the hips. That is the hinge, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you to memorize this exercise. I want you to practice it until you're blue in the face, because you need the hinge when it comes to kettlebell training in so many places. And funny thing, like I mentioned in the beginning, so many beginners do not know how to really properly engage your hips, and that's a great exercise. So let's jump into the hand-to-hand deadlift now. The powerful thing about a kettlebell is that you can use it for unilateral training. This means I can use it with one side only, or I can switch sides. That's why I call this exercise the hand-to-hand deadlift. Now we have just learned the hinge, right? So imagine with me, bring your kettlebell in and place it between your legs. Now I stand shoulder width apart over the kettlebell. As I'm looking down the kettlebell, the floor, the kettlebell and the handle should be approximately in the middle of my foot. If it is like this, that's the proper position. I don't want to start right here. I don't want to start right here. I want to start properly over the kettlebell as it sits approximately alongside the middle of my foot. Now remember the hinge, pushing the hips back, extending the arms to the side, right? Now we take it a step further. Tuck your chin in. Now, right here, the hands are not useful, so let's bring them to the front. Now, problem, I can't reach the kettlebell. What do I have to do? I have to sit back and use my knees a little bit. Watch this. And watch my shins. My shins stay vertical. They don't move forward. They stay vertical. So now, I grab the bell with one hand, pulling the shoulders back. My other arm is in the air. Now I complete the hinge or complete the deadlift as I stand up, powering through the hips, boom, fully extending the hips. Now, as I place the kettlebell back down, the same thing happens. Everything happens in the hips, and now I'm switching hands. That's the reason why it is called a hand-to-hand deadlift. And as a side note, which I'm hearing often when it comes to a deadlift with a kettlebell, people are saying, isn't this not enough? That's not heavy weight. You know, I deadlift hundreds of kilos or whatever have you. Well, when it comes to engaging in all the aspects of human performance, not just only strength, because if you want to engage into strength, yes, we got to lift heavier stuff, but many people want to get the most bang for the buck. A little bit of strength, a little bit of muscle, a little bit of coordination, a little bit of heart pumping. So that beautiful package all in one. Then of course you can use a kettlebell and do more reps. 20, 30, 40, 50 reps of the hand-to-hand deadlift. And like I mentioned, the beautiful thing about the unilateral stance, you use one hand or one arm and then we're switching sides. And that's the beautiful thing about the kettlebell. So this is the hand-to-hand deadlift. We are writing a check mark, tuck, a small tick below that exercise. Now let's jump into the next exercise, a hand-to-hand row. Now we assume the same position like we did in the deadlift. Here comes the hinge again. Pushing the hips back, grabbing the kettlebell, but now here comes the difference. I'm now not using my hips, I'm using my back muscle, or I always say I pull with my elbows up. Watch what that looks like. So do you see what I am doing? I pull the weight up, and then I rotate my hand, pulling the elbow up, and my whole body pivots and shifts to the side, left and right. So what does that look like? Watch as I'm pulling the kettlebell up and my body tilts or shifts or pivots to the left side. Switching sides. Now my whole body weight is shifted to my right leg, pulling the weight up. Now why am I doing this? If I stand straight, maybe the bell touches the knees, I'm not able to lift my arms up, or what many beginners do is I start doing the double biceps pose. So that's how I'm rowing the weight up. But I don't want to do this. I don't want to roll the weight up like this. I want to roll the weight up like this. No curling or no intentional curling of my biceps, and nothing happens in my wrist. It's just a pulling maneuver, like you would pull the arrow, boom, before you let it fly, right? That's how we are rowing. So in order to make enough space, I shift my body weight back and forth. And you can also say, that's a great variation, hang rows, not touching the kettlebell down to the floor, using one side only. Assuming the same stance, not using the hips now, using your arms only, pulling with the elbow, focusing on the lats. A little side note, you're gonna feel your lower back most definitely. It's gonna burn out immediately. You'll be like, oh, this exercise is for the lower back. No, it is not. Your whole posture, your body has to assume that position and hold it. And because your body has to assume the position and hold it, this requires power. And in that position right here, it targets, of course, when it comes to the posture, your lower back. Your lower back is involved in holding that posture. And since the lower back is the weakest link in the chain, you're gonna you're gonna feel it most definitely, guaranteed. So take your time. Listen to the weakest link in the chain. Relax if you have to. So that's the hand-to-hand row, number 2. Let's jump up to exercise number 3. The reverse lunge. And you know what's crazy? I'm now doing the masterclass from the Flowing Dutchman, from his mace stuff. Man, I love the mace. It's so awesome. I just purchased his awesome course. Black Friday, baby. I got it with a little bit of savings from the DutchFlowAcademy.com. I had a conversation with Halbert, the Flowing Dutchman. And he has some great variations of the lunge. For example, I just got to show you this because I'm so excited about this. I never heard this, or I never saw this. The hunter lunge. This one, boom, 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 boom. That's awesome. And it's so great whenever you can assume the stance of a student once in a while, because then you can only learn. And Halbert, he's a great teacher. You got to check him out, DutchFlowAcademy.com. So now let's move back into what I want to teach you. The reverse lunge. I believe with the kettlebell, the reverse lunge is so effective and works so beautifully. And from our experience with beginners, it's just easier to handle. So let's focus on the lunge first before we use any weight. Now, a lunge is an exercise where we isolate the leg. So it's not just a squat where we sit down. It's an exercise where we engage into an additional realm of stability. That's why a lot of people have trouble with it. Even people who are strong, who only move in the sagittal plane, and they never do stuff like this, or they never do stuff like this, they tend to have problems with their stability, and that's when it shows. So the reverse lunge is kind of a squat because your legs do a similar motion, but we're isolating the legs. So watch what happens. The reverse lunge works like this. I assume a shoulder width stance, and I hope you're still following me. Make sure nothing's in close proximity and you follow me. Don't just watch and don't just write something in the comments. You have to do it as well. Your coach is telling you this. So now watch this. I'm taking a step back. Boom. And I imagine, I love this cue. Got it from YouTube, from one of our subscribers. Thank you guys. Imagine you're standing on tracks. Watch. I am standing on tracks, right? Where the train passes through. So I am a train, right? So if I want to move properly as a train, I cannot do stuff like this. I lose balance. I'm not on tracks. I'm derailing myself. So imagine you move on tracks. Boom. So from this position right here, watch where my rear leg is. It is on the toes. Do not shift your body weight on the heels. This completely changes the exercise. You stay on your toes. You have an upright posture. You make sure you have enough distance between those two legs. Now you bend your left and right knee and you want to go down as far as you can. I always like to say, I'm touching the floor. Now, as I'm touching the floor, you should assume approximately a 90-degree angle in both of your knees as well as in your hips. At least one of the side of your hips. Now we have that upright posture, right? So now I stand back up. I'm in a strong position now to step back into my original stance. The other side, follow me now. Take one step back, but stay on your toes. I dare you. If you put your foot on the heels. Whenever we have coaching sessions in here, people always do this. And I get mad. And when I get mad, you know what I do? I tell them to stop doing this. I don't know if you can hear this. That's what I do. Man, I always tell our clients, make sure you stand on your toes, right? So then we assume that position. I have an upright posture. I come back up. Boom. So now that you understand the reverse lunge, weightless, let's use it with a kettlebell. Now, one thing that is important is understanding how to move a kettlebell. So if I want to pull the kettlebell up, and I just talked about the Flowing Dutchman in this course, I like the way how he pronounces and emphasizes the fact how to pick up a mace. And we do this as well. You have to understand how to pick up a kettlebell. Don't do stuff like this. I just had another conversation with Glenn Weinstein from the Kettlebell 6. And he told me, you know what's good? If you assume the position like a robot, you move like a robot, okay? So if I want to move like a robot, I'm hinging, pulling the bell between my legs, and then I'm flipping it up. And now I can play the flute song. That's the flute song. We call this the flute song, baby. Hollow core competition kettlebells. For those of you who are interested, these are our own LS competition kettlebells. We call them Superflow kettlebells. We open up shop around December. So if you're interested, put your name on the waiting list. You'll find a link in the description. So now, I pull the weight up, right? And I grab it by the bell. This is the bell or the belly. Now, my palms connect with the belly. I can play the flute song. Now, chest up, shoulders back. I keep the elbow close to my body. Now, I take one step back. I imagine I'm standing on tracks. Knees touch the floor. Coming back up. Assuming the shoulder width stance again. The other side. Back down. Back up. Now, what helps is if you take your time. And one thing that is highly important with an exercise like this is to keep your mid-center under fire. Keep it contracted. Keep the energy up. Contract those abdominals. Brace it as if you're getting a punch. Because whenever you want to assume an upright position, or you do stuff over here and you do stuff down there, this is always a This translates into how well your upper body, this right here, communicates with your lower body. And what connects, or what is an important piece that connects your lower body with your upper body? Your abdominals or your midsection. So make sure you keep it tight when you're engaging in the reverse lunge. So that's exercise number 3. Let's check out exercise number 4. Now, the goblet squat, baby. A beast of an exercise. Now with the goblet squat, it is a similar way to pick it up. Pull it back, grab it. There's a couple of ways to grab it, and I like to grab it again by the belly. Now when we are goblet squatting, please listen, this is important. A goblet squat, from a biomechanical perspective, is a front squat. And if we assume a front squat position, we have to move accordingly. This is so important. There are certain laws that are governed by your body and by the way an exercise functions. We have to understand these laws in order to properly do the exercise. So watch what I do. You can observe first. Pull it back up like I did it in the reverse lunge, grabbing the kettlebell, playing the flute song. Now, chest up, shoulders back. Watch what happens. I have a little bit wider than shoulder width stance. I push my knees out, and as you can see, my toes are already pointing outwards. Now my knees track my toes. My chest stays up. I hinge a little bit, and I assume that bottom squat position. I always say assume. I like that word. Now from this position, I'll come back up. Playing the flute song. With a front squat, it is important that we push our knees out, that the upper body stays straight, and that I'm really not pushing my hips too far back. This defeats the idea of a front squat. And like I said, the goblet squat is a front squat. And an important side note, maybe you try this exercise and you wrestle with it, you battle with it, you feel like the exercise is fighting you. It may be that your genetic structure, your hip structure, does not allow this. You can stretch and do whatever you want if you have a so-called Celtic hip where where the bone of your upper leg sits deep in the pelvis. You won't be able to engage in this type of position. And this may lead to the fact that you're not able to do what I do. And then listen to what your body's telling you. You can try some stretching, try some mobility stuff, but if it doesn't work, it may be that your body is not made for this type of exercise. Then you either leave it away or you do a substitute. So now, let's jump into exercise number 5. Let's talk about the press. I just recently did a video on the press where I take a deep dive. I don't want to take a deep dive right now. I just want to show you the basics. Now, in order to bring the kettlebell up into a press, I have to clean it. And we cover the clean a little bit later. So let's just assume that you understand the clean. Pulling the kettlebell into the backswing, hand insertion, racking the weight. Now, as you can see, I have this type of position. Elbow close to my body. And now I can close my fist, close my fingers to a fist. I don't have to grab the handle. And I make sure that the elbow makes contact with the iliac crest of my hip. That's that bony structure that you feel down here. So this is an important connection that I have to engage with. Because from this position, I can go into the strict push, press, or a jerk. Now, important, very important. Pressing the kettlebell or pressing a kettlebell overhead requires you to understand what the kettlebell is made of. Handle, belly of the bell, and watch, the weight pulls laterally away from me because of the displacement of the weight. You follow me? Now, if I press it up like this is suboptimal. This does not work. This is stupid, and this may even hurt your shoulder. Now, yes, you can do stuff like this. But we want to focus on the most efficient way to press, and that is a straight line. So watch what I do. Boom. My elbow sits right below my wrist. They are in line. My wrist joint as well as my elbow joint are in one line. And from that position, I fully extend my arm overhead. And as I am in that overhead position, I make sure that the biceps almost makes contact with my ear. But I don't do this. No, this is an incorrect position. Head is straight. If the arm's out, don't lean into your arm, bring your arm close to your head. Now watch in the overhead top fixation where my thumb is pointing. It is pointing towards my skull slightly, but I don't overdo it. The palm is not facing towards you, the palm is facing diagonally away from me or towards my skull. Now from this position, the kettlebell now rests on my elbow and on my shoulder joint. This is a strong position. We call this, I'm stacked on all joints. Now, as I bring the weight back down, what do? I push the elbows forward and I rack the weight. I don't flare out with my elbow. This is a strict press. Exercise number 5. Exercise number 6, it's going to be a little bit tricky. The windmill. I hope you still follow me. And I hope you are trying that stuff at home. Now with the windmill, if you're not careful and you don't understand it, it's advanced. Watch. What happens in the windmill? A windmill is nothing less than a hinge combined with a rotation of your upper spine. I repeat, a hinge is nothing less than a windmill, it's nothing less than a hinge combined with rotation of your upper spine. I like to call it the thoracic spine, the T-spine. Let's move a little bit further. If I want to do it correctly, I start like this. Both feet point to the right or to the left respectively. If my feet point to the right, I have to do the first part of the exercise, and that is side hinging. Now, many people can't do this. They just start leaning over. It is not leaning over. If you start leaning over, you are moving from your spine. That's not what we want to do. And maybe even be a little bit critical. What we want to do is shift and pivot the whole body weight on our strongest column and the strongest muscles, which is what? The hip. Do you see the difference? I'm demonstrating it. Wrong. Right. Now, my natural inclination is to look towards the floor because my upper body is not used to rotating against the hip. Because my hip is now facing a position where if I have it naturally, I just look down the floor. But I mentioned that it is a rotation of the T-spine. So that's what I do. And from this position, if I come back up, my upper body comes up. And as I move up, I'm assuming the correct position that is predetermined from my hips. What does that look like with the kettlebell? Let's see. I bring it overhead. I just did a snatch. You can also press it overhead. Doesn't matter. Now, shoulder width stance. Both feet point now to the right. I start side hinging. I start rotating my T-spine. And now I'm lowering my upper body down to the floor as far as I can. I can bend my knees a little bit. I can extend them. If you extend the knees, you'll feel a little bit more of a stretch in your rear legs. And as I come back up, I don't stop here. I am assuming the natural position that is predetermined from the position of my hip. The windmill is tricky. Not easy to learn, but one of its biggest advantages, in my opinion, is you move in a different plane of motion. You start rotating, hinging, and moving your body in a different plane of motion. When you work with the kettlebell, we mostly move in this kind of plane, right? But with the kettlebell, we move all of a sudden in a different kind of plane with a windmill, which is profitable and which is a good thing. Let's check out number 6. we're gonna do it quick because this is such a huge exercise. I can dedicate a whole scream, yes, probably a scream as well, a whole stream to it. It's called the Turkish get-up. We're gonna move through it fairly fast, but if you follow me, you got it. So, the Turkish get-up, the idea of a Turkish get-up is with weight overhead, I wanna lay down on the floor and wanna get back up. And because of this, because it mimics a fighter getting up, or it mimics just you pushing something away from you while being in control of the rest of your body and being able to get up, it is an exercise that is loved and cherished in the MMA community. So let's check it out. Like I mentioned, I'm going through it fast. So what I like to do with light weights or moderate weights, this is for me something up to 24, 28-ish. This is moderate to moderate heavy. And anything beyond 32 is heavy for me. Then, if it is heavy, I start from the floor. If it is moderate, 16 up to 24 for my case, or maybe up to 28, I start overhead. So I'm using my right side. I'm snatching the weight up. You can also press it overhead, doesn't matter. So, weight is overhead. Now watch what I do. I'm facing you, shoulder width stance. Now this is my type of get up. I've modified it to a certain extent. You've probably never seen it like this. I do a curtsy lunge, or it is also referred to as a dragon lunge. I don't do the normal reverse lunge, but I assume this position. Man, I love this word assume. All of a sudden, watch. That's a dragon or curtsy lunge. Now from this position, I'm already in a proper setup to just shift my right leg a little bit and my left leg a little bit to create this perfect open kneeling, half kneeling open position so I can reach the floor. Now in that half kneeling open position, my left hand now searches the floor and, ooh, where do we remember this? Where does this come from? From the windmill, right? So this is a kneeling windmill. From this position, I shift my left leg that's behind me now to the front. I want to make sure you see this. Boom. Down on my hips, down on my elbow. Now using my right leg as support. This is where the whole weight now pivots to. And I'm bringing my upper back or my back to the floor and then flexing the arm down to my chest. Now as I bring the arm back up, I press it, making sure my shoulder is tight. Don't lift your shoulder off the floor. Now from this position I have to get up, but I can't get up like this. It's not something that I would recommend. So what I have to do is I have to shift my whole body weight to my left elbow. How do I do this? With my right leg that makes contact with the floor. From this position, I have to get back towards my center of mass. So I pull my leg in. Now I use strength from here and strength from my elbow to bring my upper body up. And now bringing my left leg that's behind, left arm that's behind me close to my body. Pushing the hips up, creating enough space so I can now move my knees in and rotate the hip. This is important. That's what a lot of beginners do wrong, is they think, okay, coach, I'm pulling the knees in. That doesn't work. So it's not just pulling the leg in, it's also rotating your whole pelvis. Boom. Now from this position, what I like to do is shift my whole body weight to the heel of my left leg, and then I work like a spring. Boom. Getting ready for this position. This is a reverse lunge position that you remember, but now the weight is overhead. Bam. Standing back up. Turkish get-up takes a lot of time, so you want to maybe rewatch the video and do it weightless. Do not use any type of weight whatsoever. You first have to learn the choreography, as I like to say it. And after you've mastered the choreography, you are ready to move. Sorry, I'm spitting a little bit. So let's see if everything's still running properly. Yes, great. So now, exercise number 8, the hand-to-hand swing. Woo-wee! Now, how do we handle the hand-to-hand swing? Now, there's a couple of things that we already know now, right? We know the hinge. We know the deadlift. So we know how to engage our strongest muscles, which are located in our hip area. So now imagine with me for a second. I now do a deadlift with momentum. There's one little difference though. Technically speaking, I would consider it the way how I swing. I call it the hybrid swing, but let's just push this aside. It's not useful right now. I call it a hinge with momentum. Because watch, a deadlift with momentum would look something like this. Now, this is not wrong. But did you see what happens? Yes, I'm hinging, but I'm also bending my knees. Because if you remember from the hand-to-hand deadlift, I cannot assume a hinge position only unless you have very short legs, then it's probably possible. But for most of us, we have to hinge and then bend the knees a little bit in order to grab the kettlebell. Now, my type of swing, I'd like to hinge only. So I'm not bending the knees. Okay, if this is your knee joint, I don't bend it. I just unlock it. There's an important distinction. This is fully bending the knees or full flexion, and this is just unlocking the knees. Huge difference. So watch what it looks like weightless if I use a swing or a ballistic hinge, so to speak. And my arms, I imagine this is where the kettlebell is. That's what happens. Now, the swing offers a magnitude of mistakes that many people do, and that's outside the scope of this video. But you can see what happens in the hinge, right? Pushing the hips back, fully extending the hips, and then using it in a ballistic manner. What does it look like if I use it with a kettlebell? Watch this. Hand to hand. Now you probably see me going up and down with my toes and my heels a little bit. Do not focus on this. That's an advanced technique that we call the foot kick. But you just stand firmly planted on the floor and you are just doing a ballistic hinge. That is the single hand or hand-to-hand swing, the way we teach it, the hybrid style. And every other style is not wrong per se. Of course, there are some wrong ways to do it. For example, that's a wrong way to do it. That's what I see a couple of times. Just for a side note. Well, technically, we can say, well, if you know what you're doing, I'm intentionally going down to a squat and then standing back up. Yeah, but it kind of defeats the purpose of the idea of a swing. But even in that front, if you know what you're doing, probably not even wrong. So let's jump into exercise number 9. I told you when we talked about the press, right, that we have to understand the clean. Here it comes. Now again with the clean, I could do a masterclass on the clean only for a full hour. So now we're going to break it down into bite-sizable chunks. What do I do with the kettlebell? And I have to I'm griping. I have to grab, hi normal. And now I want to speak in German, funny. I have to grab a lighter kettlebell for you to see what happens. So imagine with me for a second. This is the kettlebell in motion as it is swinging between your legs, right? So it is swinging like this. And in order for the kettlebell to swing like this, I have to grab it up here. Just a quick analogy or a quick description of the kettlebell. This is the belly. This is the window. This is the handle. This is the upper horn, the lower horn. This is the upper arc, the lower arc, also referred to as the corner, and this is the base. Okay? Now, if I grab the kettlebell in a so-called finger grip, I make sure that my pinky connects with the lower arc, like this. Don't go too deep on the horn, that's too deep. You want to grab it with the pinky in the lower arc. Now, I don't grab it with my full hand, I grab it with my fingers. If I grab it like this, I don't want to use my hands too much because that would interfere with the trajectory of the kettlebell. And then it flips like this. It's unnecessary. So I keep a loose hand. So as the kettlebell comes up from this position, I do this. Boom. I jump or I spear the kettlebell. We also call this the hand insertion, where I switch from the so-called finger grip, boom, into a hook grip. And with the hook grip, you see what happens. I am down here with the, at the lower arc, and now, as I'm cleaning it, I jump up to the upper arc. And this right here, this thing is called web space. And this thing connects with the upper arc of the handle, and in some cases, even maybe with the upper horn. So if I assume that position, I can curl my fingers to a fist. And if I rack the kettlebell, nothing happens in your forearm. Your forearm stays locked and the elbow connects with your body. So what does that look like in movement? It's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We call this backswing, acceleration pull or hip extension, acceleration pull because the kettlebell wants to move upwards, but I have to give it a little pull, and then the hand insertion happens. So the hand insertion happens approximately here, and then elbow close to my body. Don't flare out. Keep the elbow close to your body. And as I drop it, couple of things happen. I move away from the kettlebell. Again, I could do a master class, but I want to keep it simple. I move away from the kettlebell. I am extending my lower arm, and I'm rotating my palm. If I have the kettlebell right here and I start rotating my palm, what happens? The bell wants to fall automatically because gravity starts pulling, and I just have to let go. And I got this also from the Flowing Dutchman, from the Dutch Flow Academy. There's so many similarities to the mace as well as to the kettlebell. He says you have to understand how to let go. And I always like to use the analogy of Bruce Lee. You have to be like water. You have to know when to tense, and you have to know when to relax. So, if I drop the kettlebell like this, I'm turning the palm towards me, I'm extending my forearm, I let the kettlebell drop. Important note now, I don't pull my hips back. I wait until my arm connects with my full body. Boom. And as it connects, this is where I, hinge. Here it comes again. The hinge. That is the clean, number 9. Number 10, ladies and gentlemen, the final exercise. You know, I've changed my opinions a little bit on the exercise. Yes, we know it is referred to as the tsar of the kettlebell exercise, the snatch. And while I do think, yes, it is technically demanding, there's one important cue one important thing that I always say in my videos, and that is, do not sacrifice regular exercise on the altar of perfect technique. People get it confused with tribalism and with perfectionism, and then they steer away from a tool that can literally be life-changing. So they think, I'm not ready for the snatch. It has to look perfect. The first rep has to be perfect, or Pavel knocks on my door and starts yelling at me. And sometimes beginners are so scared then, they step away from the exercise because they're like, okay, I don't need weakness eliminated from my gene pool. So you get what I'm saying. So while it is a respectable exercise, and while you have to understand it, don't be scared, man. It's nobody in their right mind, unless you are insane, walks up to a 32 kg kettlebell and starts snatching it. Nobody in their right mind does this. So understand the fundamentals, but don't get it confused. Your first snatches are your worst snatches, and who cares? Nobody on earth. You'll get better if you continue on. You should see my first snatches. They were completely off the hook. And I was even then already filming myself and putting it out into the world. But you know what? Who cares? Nobody. So let's check out the snatch. So as we understand the chain, okay, there's a chain, the swing, the clean, and the snatch. So the chain starts with its link down below with a swing. Now the chain in the middle, right, still rattling. So in the middle comes the clean, and on top comes the snatch. So it's all one progression. The swing is the base, the clean is the middle, and the snatch is the top. So if you make mistakes in the swing, you're going to transfer it to the clean, and you're going to transfer it to the snatch. So make sure the swing and the clean are down pat, because hand insertion and all that stuff happens as well, but it happens overhead. So let me show you what a snatch looks like. And as an important side note, here, the so-called superflow concept comes into play. I showed you these kettlebells, right? With the hollow core, with a single cast. This kettlebell is 16 kg. The whole cast is this heavy. So the weight is located and is placed up here. This makes the feeling, the swing, the snatch, the jerk, the clean, so incredibly useful and perfected. The feeling is so different and so way better than if you use a standard fitness competition kettlebell without the hollow core, that our LS kettlebells, I call them now Superflow. And with the snatch, you feel it instantly. Probably when you see me do it, it looks like, what is this? It's air? No, it's a 16 kg. But since I understand the technique, and now with the Superflow concept, I flow like a beast, and I could say, you know what? I put the timer to 30 minutes, and then 5 minutes right, 5 minutes left, or maybe 2 minutes left, 2 minutes right for 30 minutes. So what happens? The same actually as in the swing. Pulling the kettlebell into the backswing, extending the hip, acceleration pull happens, but now the acceleration pull has to be a little bit harder. I'm pivoting my whole body weight backwards, because if I do this, the kettlebell is a little bit closer to my center of mass, which sits around here. If I don't do this, all right, I'm doing the Michael Jackson. And I want to avoid this. So I want to lean back, pivot my body weight on my heels. My upper body is now my counterweight. The bell starts traveling, and as it comes up around this position right here, I'm inserting my hand into the kettlebell. So this is where the hand insertion happens, approximately up here. And as I grab it up here, I bring my arm back. Important note, if you use more momentum and if you have a lot of power coming from your hips, you have to make sure that, yes, you don't have your arm tight. You have to have your arms loose to a certain extent. It still has to be a little bit, some tension has to be in there. But once the kettlebell comes up, you have to, boom, spear it and stop the momentum. If you don't do it, the kettlebell will, swing backwards, and it'll throw you off balance. So as we have the kettlebell, boom, fully locked in that position, in a beautiful top fixation, remember what I told you in the clean? I drop the weight like this, right? I'm rotating the palm towards me. The same thing overhead with the snatch. I'm rotating the palm towards me. Additionally, like in the clean, I pivot my weight to my heels. I lean back a little bit. The weight drops, and now from this position, I let gravity do its thing, and then I hinge, and then I come back up. Takes an eternity to learn, please believe me. And what I think is fascinating from the experience that we have with our clients is some people struggle with the jerk, some struggle with the snatch, but mostly everybody understands the swing after a couple of sessions. But the snatch takes some time, yes. But again, I want to emphasize and reiterate the fact that even if your snatch isn't perfect, it's such an awesome exercise. And you know what? You don't get better if you don't do it. You have the proper information now go learn. So these are the 10 exercises. So now let's jump into a workout. I just want to give you a couple of examples. I call it mix and match. Now imagine you write these 10 exercises down, right? So it's the hand-to-hand deadlift, the hand-to-hand row, the reverse lunge, the goblet squat, the press, the windmill, the get up, the hand-to-hand swing, the clean, and the snatch. 10 exercises. Now we could classify the first 4 exercises into lower body, even though I think the kettlebell is always almost full body, but just to make it a little bit more bite-sizable. And for many people who come from the gym background or traditional weightlifting background, they sometimes still have to understanding of, hey, what is where. Then we can say exercise 5, 6, and 7, which is press, windmill, and get up, can be upper body, even though get up again is full body. And then the swing, the clean, and the snatch is the ballistic. So we have the first 4 exercises, kind of lower body. The second 3 exercises, upper body, kind of full, of course, full body with the get up. And then we have the ballistics. So now I come home from a hard day's work and I'm like, you know what? Let's do a kettlebell workout. I'm picking one of these from the lower body realm, or even though the row should be classified as an upper body exercise. So that's my mistake. But let's just use I have the hand-to-hand deadlift, the reverse lunge, and the squat. Okay, I'm picking one. I picked the squat, great. So that's the squat, great. Write it down, I use the squat. Now we have to press the windmill to get up in the row. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Why not do a press after the squat? Okay, so start with the squat, now I have to press, check, to the side. Now, the last exercise, I always like to do 3 exercises, is, hey, you know what? Let's use a ballistic exercise. Okay, a lot of great benefits when we do ballistics. We have some kind of power development. We have some cardiovascular intensity that's coming with it. Why not use a ballistic at the end? So let's say, hey, you know what? Swing. So now I have these 3 exercises, the goblet squat, the press, and the swing. And now you may be thinking, well, now I got to go into how many sets and how many reps. I like to use, like I mentioned in the beginning, the simple method. Simple and easy. 1 minute per exercise. 1 minute of squats, 1 minute of the press, 1 minute of the hand-to-hand swing. And matter of fact, that's what we're going to do right now. I hope you're warmed up. I hope you're ready, because let's do this, right? And before we do this, as a side note, you could also say, hey, I could also use a reverse lunge, a windmill, and a clean, right? Yeah. But I can also use a hand-to-hand deadlift, a get up, and a snatch. Yeah. See? So that's the simple mix and match methodology. And please, the true power is not in getting started. The true power is in keeping going. Keeping the momentum going. Regular exercise is the key, and not exercising once and then stopping. So if something's holding you back, and that's what I see a lot of people holding them back, is overthinking the process. Who cares? Nobody cares, right? This is your coach speaking. Nobody cares. 3 exercises, you have fun, you like them, you do it. That's what we're going to do. So now, goblet squat, press, and swing. Are you ready? We're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's grab it. Okay, whoop, bam, goblet squat. We take our time, the flute song. Down into a squat. Back up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now what I like to do is breathe into the nose. Breathing out just a little bit in the bottom position. Coming back up. Now if you want to go advanced breathing, I call this hyperrhythmic breathing. Herb. We have a couple of more seconds to go. Now let's relax and breathe a little bit. Shake it off. Walk, keep the blood flowing. Let's do a press. 30 seconds with the left side, 30 seconds with the right side. Again, the breathing. We're just a little bit more safe. We have more safety with the spine. I can create more tension for my stomach or for my midsection. If I breathe in, I'll switch sides. Last one. Park the bell. Again, I walk, I breathe. Let's get ready for the hand-to-hand swing. In 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Again, I breathe in as the kettlebell lands in the backswing, and I breathe out once the kettlebell lands approximately on chest level. And as you can see, I call this the ghost hand. My other hand mimics my leading hand. I always say use your whole body. Use your whole body to engage in that momentum. And that super flow, baby. That super flow feeling. Guys, you gotta buy one of our kettlebells to really feel that. I just love it. It's that ultimate feeling. That super flow state. Park the bell. Shh. Bada boom. So that's 3 minutes of work, right? And now we can say, Gregory, that's awesome. Now, how can I rest? Well, you can rest in between the exercises. We now just did a little bit of rest. Or you can fully rest after 3 exercises, take a break, and then do it like Gypsy does it. And then, after you are replenished and regenerated, you go back at it again, and you do 3 to 4 rounds. And remember, all these other exercises, mix and match. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into this great Black Friday special that I have prepared for y'all. If you just enjoyed what I did with you, and you're like, Gregory, you know what? I really like that. And man, I need some more of this. Then I got something for you. But before we get started, of course, before I can share this with you, there's one thing that you have to do.
Stravo, my name is of no importance to you. Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Libestark. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Libestark YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
And hey, before I want to get started, I just saw some questions that I'm going to file off real quick. If you're still watching, guys. Marco Freitag, what's the difference between a split squat and a lunge? With a split squat, you stay down in that lunge position. So you go down, back up, go down, back up. And with the lunge, you always go back into the shoulder with stance. Hello from Thailand, Xirik, sending you love, brother. El Emonator, awesome training tips and training, nothing fancy, intense, yet careful. Most important, kids. Keep it simple, stupid. Yes, that's what's up. Richard says, cheers from Tennessee. So now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're like, hey, I like what I'm seeing, and you know what, Gregory, I really want to take it to the next level. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fully ready for it. I really want to go balls to the walls and want to learn as much as I can. Then I got this powerful bundle with me right now. I just want to make sure that the system is running. Yes, it is running. Isn't it beautiful if everything just runs and if everything is just the way it's supposed to be? So let's check out the Black Friday course bundle. I told you, you can save over $2,000. So listen very close. I'm going to make this quick, but you have to listen closely. So why do you need our help? You just watched the video and are like, you know what, Gregory, I can just do the video and be off with it and be good with it. Of course you can. And a lot of people who are very advanced can do this. But most people need our help because, listen, 67% of gym memberships go unused. That's an abysmal statistic from USA Today. That means that mostly everybody, I would say this number is even higher, signs up for a gym membership and doesn't exercise, and they don't go. So we need a different solution. And funny thing is, the 90% of those 33% left are probably wasting their time in the gym. Why is that? Listen, 99% of those people who are still going to the gym, I'm not talking about the bodybuilders or the fitness models or the TikTokers who are very popular. I'm not talking about these folks. I'm talking about everyday folks, you and me. 99% do machine-based work. They're not standing while training. You know, you sit all day at your office job. Then you go to the gym and you sit again. That's stupid. and you follow the typical gym corporate shenanigans, I call this, with machines first, treadmills second. Now you spend hours in the process. Now, this might work for a bodybuilder, but most people who join the gym don't want to be bodybuilders. They want to just train. They need a little bit of strength, a little bit of coordination, a little bit of cardiovascular work, a little bit of fun, and I believe the kettlebell can provide this. And I believe if you do this typical gym shenanigans, I don't think that's the best use of your time. And in most cases, you don't even get any kind of return on your investment. So probably you're sitting there, maybe you just tuned in and you're like, Gregory, yeah, you know what, you're right. And I suffer from some kind of problems or these are my pain points because that's the reason why I signed up for a gym, but I didn't go. Now I'm asking you, did you buy equipment and you didn't use it? Did you buy a gym membership and you didn't use it? Do you have back pain and shoulder pain? Are you struck with injuries from bad form? Maybe you're like, Gregory, I tried it, but then I broke something and now I'm not sure. Are you suffering from any kind of medical afflictions? Are you terribly unfit? You're huffing and puffing after only one flight of stairs? Are you overweight, obese from a sedentary lifestyle? Are you not looking good naked? Are you failing to build muscle? You don't have any confidence with kettlebells? Are you failing to boost fat loss? You have no passion for training whatsoever, and you're stuck in traffic spending hours to even go to the gym? Now, here's what this Black Friday course bundle can do for you. Watch this. I can help you stop wasting time with stuff that doesn't work. Get rid of any kind of pain. Help you recover from your injuries, help you combat medical afflictions, become the fittest you've ever been. You're gonna fly up the stairs. You can combat a sedentary lifestyle and obesity. I can help you look good naked. You can build quality and practical muscle. You can improve confidence with kettlebells. It's a strange object, but I'm gonna help you melt with it. I'm gonna boost it, help you boost your fat loss throughout the day. You're gonna discover the passion and love for kettlebell training, which will help you to keep going, and it'll help you save time because you can do it all from home. Now you're like, oh, Gregory, you know what? This sounds way too good to be true. Well, it is not, because you still have to put in the work. That's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I can talk to you for hours about this stuff, and you can watch hours of this stuff, but doing it is the hardest part. So that's why it maybe sounds good. It is good, but the hardest part is you have to actually put in the work. So here come the Black Friday course bundle. I have over 7 courses for you. Course number 1, if you opt in right now, is fan favorites. Here we do Pavel's Simple and Sinister, Dan John's Armor Building Complex, all these powerful, popular workouts that you see online and follow-along sessions. People love and like these workouts, and they have thousands of likes and views, and people love that stuff. So you're gonna love these exercises and these workouts as well. Course number 2, it's the Hybrid Style Masterclass Lite. This is a practice-based online course for beginners that can help you develop your technique, because that's what I did right now, right? I'm helping you develop your skill. This is what the Hybrid Style Masterclass Lite does as well. If you like what you see there, what I just did now in that small condensed form, you're gonna love this. And this is gonna be the course that you always reference. We're taking care of over 25 of the most bang for your buck exercises in detail. Course number 3 is 90 Gains of Kettlebells. This is a scientifically based and proven training system that will give men over 30 the system they need to help them build quality, practical, and aesthetic muscle. Course number 4, this is our ladder workout system. Listen, ladders are powerful. We have a training system that we use on a regular basis, and ladder workouts are a welcome variety. That's Angie's course. Yes, it is designed for ladies, but guys, you can do this as well. You're gonna cover these mountains. You have to battle these mountains. They're tough, and they're gonna help you take your fitness to the next level. Course number 5 is 90 Days of Kettlebells. This is an online workout course for regular men and women aged 40 plus who want to train at home, lose weight and achieve lasting results. And you get this bestseller course that includes nutrition coaching as well. Number 6 is Saved by the Bell. This is a brand new course where we help you take care of your back pain in 30 days or less. Course number 7 is a powerful course. We combine the dumbbell with the power of the kettlebell, and it's for people who want to take it both. They have two dumbbells at home and one kettlebell. This is for you. All courses come equipped with thoughtful programming, and the workout protocols are backed by experience, evidence-based practice, and goal-oriented coaching. So you're getting 7 best-selling courses, over 50 workouts, most popular and famous training methods, nutrition coaching, a systematic approach to training, a workout schedule for 2 to 3 workouts per week, in-depth tutorials about proper form and technique, the powerful ladder training system, variety with additional dumbbell workouts, and a workout supply for over 15 months. Man, with this bundle, you can take care of your needs all at once. Now, here's what you need. A kettlebell. If you want to jump into Bolt, you got to get yourselves 2 dumbbells and a little bit of discipline and motivation. And here's what you need for weights. If you're a woman just getting started, 2 times 5 kg dumbbells, that's 10 pounds, or 1 times 8 kg kettlebell, that's a 16 pound. Now you need them both if you want to start with Bolt as well. And males, guys, 2 times 7.5 kg dumbbells, that's 15 pounds, or 112 kg kettlebell, that's 24 pounds. This is going to be the course dashboard, and don't get it confused. You have one particular course and one video that'll help you how to get started and where you want to go, because it depends on your goals, what you want to do first, and I'm going to cover this in the video that's in the course dashboard. So that's the system when you sign up, and then when you enter a course, on the left side you have all the chapters and the lessons, and in the middle you have the video and the stuff that you have to do. You can take this anywhere with you. It's not DVDs that we're selling. Everything is delivered to you online. But that's not all. You get some bonuses. Number 1, 30 days of kettlebell. So that's another workout course for 4 weeks straight, suited for beginners. Bonus number 2, and a lot of people ask me about this, and I'm saying, no, you don't get this. You have to sign up for the course. You have to sign up. You have to pay if you want to see this. Steve Carter, that's my mentor, his CKT seminar with me, who took him 3.5 hours to do, because he was with me in the gym in June 2019. And that was one of the biggest kettlebell learning experience that I've ever had in my life. Matter of fact, Steve Carter's philosophies are the building blocks of what I do. I just did some more, I've added some more branches to the tree, but the trunk of the tree was Steve Carter's certification in 2019. And here we get the 3.5 hour seminar with Steve. Listen, this is gonna, if you see the price, you're like, wow, that seminar alone is worth the price. And another bonus is you get monthly live kettlebell group classes via Zoom. Not joking. Every month. And matter of fact, we had to substitute this week. We're gonna do it next week because we're gonna combine November and December into one. You're going to join me for live workouts. Just what I did right here, but then via Zoom. So you get the invitation via email. You can sign up. I can see you on camera, and I can give you live feedback. All courses come with lifelong access after purchase or until the internet explodes. I just have to put this disclaimer in. Now here's the value, what you normally pay. For fan favorites, $147 US. The Hybrid Style Masterclass, $199. 90 Gains of Kettlebells, course number 3, $147. Course number 4, the Never Rest Ladder Workouts, $147. Course number 5, 90 Days of Kettlebells, again, $147. Saved by the Bell is $69. Course number 7, Bolt, is $147 US as well. Bonus number 1, 30 Days of Kettlebells, is a value of $69 US. Steve Carter's private seminar with Angie and me, you would probably pay up to $700 US if you would attend in person in a group setting. If you have the chance, do it. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't do it. If you get the chance to train with the master, do it most definitely. Bonus number 3, free monthly live workouts. All year you could join the group settings. That's $588 US value over the whole year, and all workouts are ad-free. Now you're joining us on YouTube, and you probably have done some of our workouts, and then I know it's a little bit annoying. Boom, all of a sudden here comes the ad and you're like, oh, I'm snatching. What is this? Well, not unfortunately, thank God this is what powers the channel. But on the course side of things, no ads. That's a total value of $2,360 US. That's a lot of money, right? But that's not what I'm charging. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm charging not even $997. That's over 50% off. That's a lot of money, right? A lot of money off. I'm charging, drum roll, bam, $297. $297 US. That's 88% off, ladies and gentlemen. It's a payment plan of $109 US per month for 3 months. You can join that as well. You can do this. A lot of people actually do this. A lot of our customers and clients, they use this payment plan. which I think is fascinating, and that's the reason why I put it in, because it's easier to budget. Or if you, of course, do the $297, you save even more. So 88% off. You save over $2,000, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what you normally pay. All courses are $147, except for Saved by the Bell is $69, and the Hybrid Style Masterclass Lite is $199, and then Steve Carter Seminar, the free monthly live workouts, over $2,360, but you only pay $297. I'm not joking, and you see I'm passionate about this. Why am I passionate about this? Because I know that this stuff works. I don't pull this out of thin air. This is years and years and years of practice, experience, teaching, learning, that is packed into one dense material, one dense course, that is, or just this course bundle, and that's this one right here. Now, if you are already interested, check the first link in the description or the link in the live chat, because this offer will go away after Black Friday is gone, and we've extended the sale up to next Tuesday. So you have to decide. And one funny thing, you're like, oh, next Tuesday I have time. There's one big problem. If you are procrastinating, you are wasting your time, because you're going to forget this. It's not going to be on your mind. You got to jump on it right now while it is fresh on your mind. And here's the guarantee. You don't like it, you don't pay. Simple. You have a time window of 30 days, right? So if you don't like it, you tell me, Gregory, you know what? I bought your course, but I don't like it. And then bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, it's gone. Simple as that. You can tell me, you know what? I want your money back. I want the money back, and then I'll refund every cent, no questions asked. So that's, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Black Friday bundle. Everybody's on Black Friday right now, and of course we are too. So this chance to save 88% is gone in a couple of days. So if you're interested, you have to jump on it right now. It's only available for a limited time. So ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Now don't forget to do this.
Stravo, my name is of no importance to you. Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Libestark. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Libestark YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
You heard what the master said, so like and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Sasha, you were too late. You can rewatch it. Of course you can. And Marlene says, hello, good day. Marlene, sending you a lot of love and saying you hello as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Thank you so much for joining. I hope I was able to provide you with something, with some helpful content that you can take with you. Of course, if you're interested to take an even more deep dive, check out the Black Friday course bundle. You'll find a link in the description, the first link, or in the live chat right now. It's only valid for an exclusive, limited time only, and then it is gone. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a beautiful day. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, peace out and goodbye.
If you're looking for kettlebell courses that can help you lose weight, build muscle, and improve your kettlebell technique, then check out the Libestark Academy. Let us help you discover a new perspective on kettlebell training, making it simple and easy for you to understand. Join the waiting list of your desired course now and secure your spot when it's open for enrollment. Link is in the description.